Sim Safari was a spin-off of the Sim series and basically a wildlife safari park simulator. And knowing that, what you got in the game was pretty much what you expected. There are three main parts of the game. One, which was the actual park itself where the animals lived. Two, the village where you hired your workers. And three, the guest services area where the guests slept and went out with their Humvees to check out the animals, though I did think it was weird that I don't know if I ever saw the cars actually go on the safari park map, but the key to winning the game was to make the three people that ran those sections happy. There was the ecologist in the safari park, there was the village chief in the village, and then there was the lady that the guest services relations person, I guess, I don't know what her title was, that told you all the things you were doing wrong. Now, I did a little bit of research because I didn't necessarily remember Sim Safari that well, and I don't know if it just either wasn't liked by many people or there's not much information about it on the internet, but I really didn't find much of anything when it came to guides or anything like that. But it sounds like it wasn't that hard a game. Maybe I just either didn't understand the mechanics of it or, once again, spent way too much money when I shouldn't have. There were basically 5 big animals that people wanted to see. The big 5 is what they called it. Creative, I know. There were lions, leopards, African elephants, I believe Cape buffalo, and rhinoceros. Those were the 5. And if you got that, you're well on your way to earning 5 stars. Just like Sim City was an education in how cities run, Sim Safari was an education in how the natural world runs. You had to have a certain amount of grass in order to feed the herbivores. And in fact, if you set out the grass that certain animals liked, they would just come to the park anyway, and you wouldn't actually have to spend money on putting them there. And then, of course, there were the carnivores, which ate some of the herbivores. So you had to have that in balance in order to make the park work. If you had too much of one thing, everything else got eaten, and you lost money, and people weren't happy because they didn't get to see the animals they wanted to see. And in fact, there were also certain scenarios which reflected certain real-life scenarios. Invasive species like rabbits overpopulating the place, workers, or at least the villagers, not having enough jobs within the wildlife park, so they looked towards poaching and destroying the animals in order to survive, which sometimes happens in the real world, which is kind of interesting for a video game to do. Looking back, it may have taken me more than that game to learn those lessons, but I'm glad that I did. Sim Safari was, I think, the first video game I ever had where I got to play around with wildlife, so that may have been an important development in who I am today. Or maybe I just built a safari park full of lions.